What's up, fellas? So you can see I'm in the trooper car, and if you notice up there, I got the headliner in, and I'll get you off here to show you what else I got done this week. Um, Things I made, things I'm working on, and where I'm at with this thing. Let me get you switched around. You can see the dash is in, except for this. This is a cap. This is made to fit over the stock dash pad. But I'm not going to put the dash pad on there because it's kind of heavy, so I'm going to figure out a way to mount that to the dash. I'll probably just run some tabs from here and then over to where the dash mounts. Once I get that figured out, then I'll paint it. The rest of the stuff I got done. Got the voltmeter in, the line for the line lock button. I made a line lock mount instead of drilling into the steering wheel. I don't know why. I had a little aversion to putting a steering wheel, drilling a hole in it, and the mounts online were like $30. I thought, well, shit, I can make that. So, a little piece of scrap aluminum. I don't want to call it rustic, but it's basic. The wide band's there. The tack is there. I'm not sure if I'll keep it in that spot. I got to get the seat in and make sure it's where I want it to stay. It can be mounted, anywhere on here. I don't want to put it up here because that's not strong enough to support it. The ignition box is in. I'm making a mount for the processor so I can get all that wiring over there tucked up. And then, if you remember, I borrowed the headliner from McStruggles some time ago and had a copy made because the headliner that came in this car was for a hatchback and the notchback ones are different. So I made this because there's no spot up here for the little map light. Apparently the later cars that come with a map light have some different configuration up here. So, oops, I'll try to get this here. All right, so this will bolt into that, and then the map light will go into that little thing I just made and be up there. I got this on eBay probably 2 years ago, maybe, if not more. Well, no, I don't think more. Guaranteed to work. So I get it and hook up a wire to it, hook up a wire to the ground, hooked it to the battery. It made a lot of sparks and the wires got hot, which is kind of normal for these things because they are, even the one in the red car, as soon as you pop that little light down and drop it down, it blows the fuse out. I hadn't done much up here. Kind of tucked the wire in a little bit. Still got I'm not sure if it's been leaking anymore. But on a good note, I put brake fluid in the master cylinder yesterday and there's no leaks underneath. Got the battery cable ran. Goes from the alternator to the battery, and then I got the little alternator mounted because I hadn't been into work. I haven't been able to make a spacer for that, but I can do that pretty easily, I think. I got to take this motor mount off. You can see how the engine sits a little bit that way. See the by the line back here. So I put a level across the carburetor, or the carburetor pad, the throttle body pad, and it is leaned a couple degrees over, so I'm gonna have to make that notch in the frame rail or the K-member, cut a groove down a little bit more so the engine sits level. It ain't gonna do anything for power or nothing like that. It's just gonna be my OCD, I guess, that to make sure the engine's level. And then everything else has just been the interior stuff this week. Getting all the wiring tucked up and putting the dash in, taking the dash out because when I taped all the wires up in here, I had the wiring to the light switch around back of the brace that goes to the clutch pedal cable, or what do you call it, brake and clutch bracket. There's a mount that comes over here, bolts right there. I had that wiring on the back side of it instead of on the front side, so I take it all back out again. reroute it, and then got it all together. Of course, you can tell the Fox fit and finish that they're famous for is there. Especially these things have been beat apart so many times, they're taken apart and have chunks missing. This I was a little hesitant to do. I don't know how that's going to work. I know lots of other people have run it, but I just want to make sure it's going to be good for me. I think that's it. I got the shifter on, got the wiring run for the two-step, and like I said, the line lock, and got all the ignition hooked up. You can see it's got a little disconnect, so if I ever have to take it out, I don't have to cut wires again like I did last time. And I guess that's about it for in here. Let me take you out here to my outside workbench so you can see what I'm working on. Those are Kyle's cylinder heads. I got to finish them. I'll have a video on them sometime soon. All my benches in the garage are filled up with junk, so this is a mount for the ECU. What it's going to do is mount, this will go screw into the lip below the glove box, and then this will mount up there where the AC box used to mount. So that'll get it some rigidity. It won't be flopping around, and I'll be able to put both kick panels on the inside of the car. Let me see, what else is that? I think that's about it. Like I said, it's pretty bit been focused on the inside of the car, just trying to get all this stuff done so I can then work on the doors, and that'll be the next big project on this. All right, so I'll wrap this up, and once I get the ECU mounted, I'll do a little clip on that. We'll see you in the next one. So fellas, so it's what is this, Sunday afternoon. I've been off all week. It's hard to keep track of days. Last day of 2023, wrapping her up. So what I'm doing, let me put the seat in so I could kind of make sure how I had the tack and the shift light where I want it. I moved it down a little bit, put the shift light over on that side. It's not like optimal, but I can maybe turn that a little more to get it so the shift point is probably only going to be like $6,000 for now. So I might turn this a little bit so it's like straight up. And I did the same with the gauges. Try to make it so it's pointing straight up when it's going to be like in its operating range. Makes it easier, so you got to like really look at it. Just kind of make sure the needles are pointing straight up. And then I got the ECU mounted. You see it over there, of course. My dumb ass, when I first mocked it up, I had the ECU flipped upside down, so when I tried to hook it up, I had to twist the whole wire harness 180 degrees, and I didn't like that, so I took it back off, cut another notch in there for the chip, the J3 port, and then put it back in there. I looked on eBay to see how much those were, because usually they're selling stuff like that on eBay, and they were like $30 and up for that. And I was like, crap, I'm not. So I sent a text message to the rest of the crew. I ain't heard back if anybody's got one. You know, the carb guys ain't gonna need one, so that one works for now, but I'd rather not have like two holes in the front of it. So I might have one in the shed from the Dugan wagon, but I just hadn't ventured in there yet. So other than that, like I said, the seat's in there. This is a seat I bought after I broke the transmission. The last time I had this at Holt, I had the stock seat in it, and I had PJ go through it and kind of like refurb it and strengthen it up, but still just wasn't holding up. So I put this in. This I got on eBay. I got two of them, like 300 some bucks, I think it was, or in that range for the two, which isn't bad. It's Tanaka is the name brand. It's a really nice seat. It feels a lot better to ride in it. But Tanaka's a good Chinese name, as you can tell. It's a little dirty, but it's been sitting for a while. But like I said, other than that, I like them. It's these things popped out after a little while, so I had to put them back in and put some super glue on them and put the little clamps on there to hold them in. And then once glue dried, they seem to be holding so far. It's not bolted down, that's why it's flopping around. It's just sitting in there. I'm gonna bleed the brakes on it pretty quick. I hooked up the battery, turned the key on, the pump come on, then it shut off. No smoke came out anywhere, no flames, so that's a good sign. I've not put fuel in it yet because I got to take the fuel rail off over here. I got to rerun all the torque all the bolts again to make sure. Try to stop that little seep out of the back. I primed the pump, got a position, so all I got to do is drop in the distributor. I probably maybe do that tomorrow. Get a little heat in the pipes. I hooked up the tie rods, put the struts in. I don't get, I'm using the same spindles, I'm using the same steering rack, same everything. The only thing I changed was the K-member and the control arms, all one package. And I had to turn this tie rod, you can see it's like 1/2 inch right there to adjust it back so it's kind of straight. Once I get everything together, then I'll put it on the wooden blocks I made and set the alignment, just to get it where I can drive it. And then once it's all running, I get the exhaust on it, I'll take it down to the exhaust shop after it's at the exhaust shop, then it'll go to the alignment shop. So I think that's about, I did get my my safety loop. I had these two. This one is 7 pounds. This one's 6.6. I kind of cheating a little bit. I had aluminum here, so that is 2 pounds. This goes up in the drive shaft tunnel. This will bolt to the bottom, and we'll see. They don't ever look for that, and like I've said before, none of our cars make enough power to like really, cause issues. Knock on wood. And then the battery box is made. I just have to see where the tabs got to go to bolt it to the trunk floor, and then get those welded on, and that will be done with that. So I think that's about it for now. I'll get this all sewed together with the other one and get her posted on the YouTubes. So appreciate you all, fellas. Hope you had a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. Don't drink and drive. All right, later, fellas.